Hello, Ken here. Thank you for tuning in to the Model Building and Retirement channel. In this episode, I'm going to do a direct side-by-side comparison with Revell's Chrome Spray and the new FusionFirm Ultra Shining Chrome Foil. This is going to be a direct side-by-side test, and the criteria is going to be cost, ease of application, appearance, and durability. So we're going to compare these all the way down with all four things. Let's get into it right after the intro. So for this direct side-by-side comparison, I set four major objectives. The first is going to be a price comparison. Second, the ease of application of each. Third, the appearance. And fourth, the durability of each product. So the first comparison between the two products is pricing. So first, Revell's Chrome Spray comes in a 150 milliliter spray can, which is just slightly over 5 ounces, and retails for approximately $35 a can. So that makes that $7 an ounce of chrome. The FusionFirm comes with two little bottles at 30 milliliters each, which is 1 ounce each. So there's 1 ounce of chrome and 1 ounce of a protective lacquer clear coat. And that retails for about $11. So price comparison wise, the Revell comes out the better bargain at $4 less an ounce. Now from experience, I do know that when you spray out of the aerosol can, there is wasted product because it goes beyond the parts you're spraying. So the next comparison is ease of application. So the Revell can is an aerosol can, so you just shake that up and hold it like 20 to 30 centimeters away from what you're going to spray, and you give it 2 to 3 short little bursts. It can be decanted if you wanted to shoot through an airbrush, but it's just not designed to do so. The FusionFirm comes with a little brush, so it's made to be brushed on, but it does look thin enough that it should shoot through an airbrush without thinning, so that's the way I'm going to try it. So with the FusionFirm, you know, there's a little bit of cleanup. You'll just have to clean up your airbrush afterwards, but no big deal. That's the way I'm going to go about it. I think I'll get a better finish that way. So in order to test the appearance and durability of each product, I've equally prepared 2 sets of parts. So on the Revell side, I took some parts off the chrome tree and I de-chromed them with LA's Totally Awesome and painted them with a gloss black. And I also have a door panel painted in gloss red. I don't think the color is going to matter. I just wanted a good gloss underlayment for the chrome. For the FusionFirm test, I did the same thing, except for these wheels are 3D printed from Iceman Collection, a set of Krager SS's that I wanted to try on one of my kits here, so we're going to give that a test. Okay, so let's get over to the spray booth. First off, I'm going to test the Revell Chrome Spray. Okay, first the Revell, all shook up already. Be just a few short bursts. Okay, and then for the FusionFirm, I'm going to use it straight out of the bottle, using my airbrush at 0.35. No, this is a 0.5 millimeter with about 18 to 20 psi pressure. And we're going to try some light little coats. First time ever spraying this. Okay, so for the appearance test, first we'll look at the Revell. They both look very good, by the way. Now, looking under my magnifier, and I'll try to get the camera to show the gloss too. I'm thinking the Revell edges out just a little bit for a higher gloss, but that may very well just be that it sprays very wet out of the can. I mean, you can't control the flow out of that. Where when I airbrushed the FusionFirm, I did not lay it on super wet, so that it may be that they're very equal that way, and I have a feeling that would be the case. So Revell, was my favorite beforehand, and it still looks very, very good. Okay, now let's look at the FusionFirm. I think them mag wheels look really good. I'll tell you what, you buy those. It's my first 3D, well, not my first 3D printed wheels, but my first good quality 3D printed wheels from Iceman Collections here. It's funny, when you get them out of the bag and they're just gray resin, it's like, man, I don't know, does that look like a Krager? But boy, you get that chrome on there. But it looks good. It's very good. It's very smooth. It's glossy. Certainly better than the toy chrome look that you get out of the chrome tree. Now, as far as the clear coat goes with the FusionFirm, it says to wait 72 hours before applying it. And what I'm going to do is when I do wait the 72 hours, I'm only going to spray half of a bumper and half of that door card because I want a comparison before and after on the clear. And also for the durability test, how durable is it without being cleared versus after being cleared. So, okay, and the Revell, of course, you cannot clear. So we're going to give that 72 hours as well. Probably longer. By the time we do the clear coat test, we'll have to wait another couple days. So, the durability test will be much later. Only minutes for you, though. Okay, so let's wait for 72 hours so I can clear coat. Okay, so I've allowed both of these chrome sprays to cure out for 3 days. The FusionFirm instructions require 72 hours before you do their clear coat. So prior to doing that, I thought let's stop and do a comparison. Visually, they're very, very equal. The chrome spray out of the Revell comes out super wet, so it comes out with a really good shine. The FusionFirm, I have confirmed that it depends. If you spray that nice and wet out of your gun, you're going to get an equal shine. If you spray it dry, it's going to be a little bit drier looking. But very, very similar in appearance. For example, I have a wheel out of each. So on the left is the Revell Chrome Spray. And on the right, this Krager is the FusionFirm Chrome, and very equal. Both very, very nice looking chromes. So appearance-wise, I'm going to call them equal. Okay, so next we're going to look at durability. Okay, so let's take a look at durability. So we're going to take this bumper from the Revell side. Looks good. I haven't touched the faces of that with my bare hands yet. Just handle it from the edges. So right now it looks very, very good. Let's pretend we're installing that in a model, and let's just plant a nice big thumbprint right on that left side there. Several times. Okay, no imprint or anything, just dulled up slightly. So let's pretend that I'm going to wipe off fingerprints. So I'm going to take a microfiber and just kind of lightly buff. And I can see now that the left side where I handled it with my fingerprint and lightly buffed is duller than the right side. I don't know if you can see that on camera. Okay, so let's try the same thing with the FusionFirm. So again, on this left side here. I'm going to plant a nice big thumbprint. Ooh, that left a thumbprint for sure. All right, let's try to buff that off. Okay, so the FusionFirm definitely did not take a fingerprint after 3 days, and I couldn't even buff it off. The Revell did not really leave an imprint. I'm squeezing really hard with my thumb, really hard, harder than you would want to, or even ever have to. Okay, left a little bit of an imprint. Try to wipe that off again. Okay, dulling up considerably there. And let's take another look here on this exhaust pipe from the Revell side. Nice and shiny. And kind of roll around on my fingers here. Okay, I'm not leaving an imprint from my fingers, just a fingerprint that you can tell that I touched it, almost like a smudge, but it's not like sticking or anything, not soft at all. It's hard. But when you wipe it, it dulls down a lot. Okay, let's once again look at the FusionFirm. Rolling that around on my fingers. I can tell that the FusionFirm is still softer after 3 days. It's easier to leave an actual imprint from my fingerprint that does not wipe away. But when you wipe it, it gets dull again. Right now, I'm going to say that I see no significant difference between either one of these as far as durability. Okay, here's that door card. I'm gonna plant a thumbprint right on this bottom corner. This is the FusionFirm side. I'm pressing really hard. Okay, did not leave an imprint, I left a smudge. I'm gonna wipe that off. So wherever you touch or rub with a rag, it does dull that down a little bit. We'll try the Revell side again. Put a big thumbprint here, pressing really hard on this bottom corner. I'm going to say the Revell spray probably, it just feels a little harder. It doesn't imprint a thumbprint as much as the other paint, but as soon as you try to wipe, smudge, or do anything with it, it dulls it down. You know, it definitely shows the handling. I'm going to try a clean glove test next and see if that helps. Okay, so next up, we're gonna just try handling with the glove. And this is not going to be an abusive test. This will be just like the way you would handle it to install it on a model. I'm not going to try to press. I'm going, you know, in other words, I'm trying to be careful not to screw it up. So this is the Revell piece. So it's holding up pretty good with a glove and very light handling. Let's take a look at this door card. Just kind of touching all over. Okay, so the Revell, after 3 days, if you're handling with gloves, avoiding fingerprints, and just lightly handling no more than you would to install it onto a model kit, it's not marring up at all. So that's looking good. It'll never hold up to rubbing with a rag or a towel or polishing out or anything like that. So if you avoid that, you're going to be okay. Going to the FusionFirm. I had already marked up this bumper pretty bad, so let's move on to something else here. All right, and we have this little chrome piece here. All right, once again, if you're handling just with gloves and light pressure, as if you're trying to avoid fingerprints, it's holding up pretty well. Try that little valve cover here. Okay, so they're holding up equally as well if you're trying to be careful with gloves after 3 days. So I'm going to call them right now equal running. Okay, we're going to do one final test, and that is going to be, we're going to put the what they call gold plating protective lacquer on the FusionFirm, and for kicks, we're going to spray it on the Revell side too. I already know the Revell is going to turn like silver paint. It's going to totally be unlike chrome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off and only spray half the door card on each. And let's see what the clear does, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I have sprayed the clear protective lacquer from FusionFirm, and I sprayed it on both the Revell and the FusionFirm Chrome parts here. First thing I noticed, even though it says protective lacquer, when I put that in my airbrush, I smelled absolutely no fumes of lacquer whatsoever. Then I looked, if you look at the label here, I don't know if you're going to be able to read it, but it mentions here the lacquer is water-based resin. Okay, so it's not hot at all. Now the good news is it didn't turn the Revell silver, so this will work on either product. Okay, so let's unmask it. What I did too is I didn't tape directly over my chrome. I put a piece of photo paper in front of it so that I didn't have, I knew tape marks would mark up that chrome. Okay, so this is the FusionFirm. So this area here has been sprayed with the clear. Right at the, this is an interior door panel. So the door panel is bare with just their chrome spray, and the passenger or the rear seat area is clear coated, and to me did not appear to dull it down at all. Okay. Now let's look at the Revell side. Okay, once again, the same area here. The door is bare Revell chrome spray, and the back passenger area is the clear coat. Slightly clouded up, slightly. A little bit cloudy. Let's take a closer look at this other one. You know what, I'm going to say the same thing here, just slightly cloudy. Okay, so they can both take the clear, but it is not a lacquer, it is a water-based product. Be honest, it almost smells like future floor polish. I don't know, it's made in China. All right, so the next thing is we're going to let both of those clears set up for a couple days, and then we'll check the durability of that. Okay, so we're back after the clear coat has cured. So this is the FusionFirm, and just this back half to the left here has been clear coated, and this is not treated. And it does take away some of the chrome shine, as I suspected it would. And they call that a lacquer, but it is water-based, and I'm not sure what's really in it. It's kind of odorless. it kind of, to me, just reminds me of like future floor polish. uh, I don't think there's any real benefit to the clear coat. It doesn't make it a whole lot more durable. It'll probably keep it from tarnishing, and that's probably about it, but it dulls it down, so it's a trade-off. Okay, then the Revell, which doesn't come with clear, but I did use the same clear on it. Same thing, you can see it dulled it down a little bit, and I think it'll resist tarnishing, which I haven't seen any tarnish issues anyways unless you touch it. So I don't see a benefit with the clear coat. All right, we're going to be back with my final thoughts, and we'll be right back. All right, I thought that was a pretty interesting test, and it answered all the questions that I had, and hopefully you too. So when I set out to do this side-by-side comparison, I had 4 criteria. So first one we're going to talk about is price. Now I hear a lot of people talking like on Facebook or whatnot that, wow, I'm buying the FusionFirm, it's only $11 versus the $35 Revell, you know, and I hear people talking about Revell being way too expensive. But folks, it's $35 a can, but it's a 5-ounce can, which is $7 an ounce. Where the FusionFirm is about $11, but there's only 1 ounce in the package. So that makes Revell $7 is $4 cheaper than FusionFirm per ounce. So Revell would be the clear winner financially. One thing to consider would be that the aerosol can, you do waste a little product with the overspray, the blow by, you know, because whatever you're spraying is going to, have overspray. My advice there is if you're going to use the Revell is to get as many parts that you want to spray grouped together as closely as possible, so that when you're doing that little spurt, 2 or 3 little spurts, you're getting a lot of parts chromed at the same time. You know, if you're going to only do 1 or 2 wheels or even 4 wheels, you're probably wasting a lot of material that way. So price point, Revell wins. Ease of application. It's going to depend. Now, if you use them as intended, then the FusionFirm wins because it has a little brush applicator. That's the way it's intended to be applied. So it's very simple. Just shake up the bottle, pull out the little applicator, and brush it onto your piece. And you don't want to like keep re-stroking it. You just want to get one nice wet coat brushed onto your part and leave it. Where the Revell is simple to use, you just shake it up and spray it, but that's a little extra effort, and you're going to have fumes and everything else, so you just have to take a few extra steps to do that. You have to go out in the garage or do it in your spray booth or whatever, but if you're going to brush, FusionFirm wins. Now, if you're going to spray it, I would say the Revell will win, because all you do is shake it up and spray. Whereas with the FusionFirm, even though you don't have to mix it, you would stir it, shake it up, put it in your airbrush and spray it, but then you got to clean your airbrush. So it's not a big deal, but you do have to clean your airbrush. So it depends where you're going to go. It's FusionFirm for application with the brush, and it's Revell if you're going to just spray. Appearance-wise, we got a tie. I think they both look equally as good. They look equally as good, so you're going to have to judge it on the other criteria, whether it's price point, whether it's ease of application, or whether it's the durability that we'll talk about next. But I think you get an equal result with both products. So one is not better than the other as far as the way they look, in my opinion. Okay, finally, durability test. I waited 3 days. Now, results may vary. If you wait 7 days, maybe it'll change a little bit. But I found Revell to be the winner durability-wise. As you saw in the video, I did a couple different tests there, but one, if I just squeezed the chrome piece very tightly, and I was doing it very tightly, just between my 2 fingers, the Revell resisted the imprint of a fingerprint better than the FusionFirm. The FusionFirm was very easy to fingerprint. Neither one of them was very good about like cleaning up smudges. Like if you did get fingerprint smudge and you try to use a microfiber towel to wipe it, neither one really worked good with trying to buff off a fingerprint or a smudge. My recommendation there would be to, first of all, handle with care and try not to handle too much when you're gluing something in. I think the most susceptible thing is going to be like a chrome bump or whatever. I would recommend wearing a clean nitrile glove and try to handle it as least bit as possible and call it good. Wait at least 3 days, if not longer. Now, finally, the clear coat test. I did not like the clear. It dulled down the finish. I thought it would, and it did. And it worked equally on both. So if you did have both chromes, the chrome or that clear lacquer that they called clear lacquer, it's a water-based product, gave the same finish on either one, and it dulled it down a little bit. It did probably help a little bit with the fingerprint test where I was squeezing really hard on the FusionFirm. It seemed to help resist that a little bit, but you're not going to handle your parts like that anyways. Personally, for me, I will not use the clear coat. I would not do the clear coat. Bottom line, I think they're very equal products. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So if price is your issue, then the Revell wins. But I think for me personally, I have a lot of the Revell. That 5-ounce can, the way you spray that in only a couple little spurts, it's probably going to last me the next 20 models, you know, if I rechrome everything. So I'm going to use that up. But I think in the future, instead of buying the Revell, I'll probably buy the FusionFirm because I can airbrush it precisely where I want it or just brush it on, and I won't waste any product at all. So the choice is yours, but there was no 100% clear winner in my opinion. So I hope that helped you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you do like my content, please subscribe, ring that little bell icon, which will alert you to any other videos that I got coming out. Absolutely free, doesn't cost you a thing. And please comment below. Let me know what you think of this test. Have a good day. Thanks.